Welcome to your Pedigree Editor tutorial. The Pedigree Editor can be accessed from a family record or from a patient record in the Family History and Pedigree section. For patients and families that already have a pedigree in your PhenoTips database, the pedigree thumbnail will look like a tiny version of their pedigree. If the pedigree has been pre-drawn using PhenoTips Pre-Visit Patient Questionnaire, the pedigree thumbnail will say Submitted from Questionnaire. If the pedigree contains sensitive information, the pedigree image can be masked in the thumbnail. If the pedigree has not yet been entered in PhenoTips, the thumbnail will be empty. To open the pedigree editor, select the pedigree thumbnail or the pencil icon to the right of the thumbnail. To quickly download the pedigree as either an image in PNG format or as a scalable image in SVG format, select the download icon below the pencil icon. To build a new pedigree, select the empty Draw Pedigree thumbnail. If you are creating a new pedigree from within a family record, skip to the timecode on screen. If you are creating a new pedigree from within a patient record, you will be prompted to assign your patient to a family. You can either create a new family or add your patient to an existing family. If you have access to an existing family record for your patient, for example, if another patient within the same family has been previously entered, enter the family identifier or the surname of their family. Once you have selected the family, you can then drag and drop your patient onto the appropriate node or individual in the pedigree to merge the patient with the family. If your patient's family has not previously been entered, choose to create a new family. This will automatically generate a family record, which you can later edit. If a pedigree for your family has already been built in another software system, skip to the timecode on screen to learn how to import that pedigree into PhenoTips. If a pedigree for your family does not already exist, the first step to creating a new pedigree is selecting a template. There are 5 templates available: Proband, Proband with parents, Proband with 2 generations of ancestors, Proband with 3 generations of ancestors, and consanguineous marriage between first cousins. If you select a template by accident, you can easily restart with a different template by selecting More in the top toolbar of the Pedigree Editor and then selecting Templates. Selecting a new template after drawing a pedigree will replace any work you've done with the selected template. If you want to import a pedigree that has been built in a different software system, don't select a template. Instead, switch to the Import tab on the template pop-up. If you've already started your pedigree, but want to replace it with a pedigree built in another software system, select the More button in the top menu bar of the Pedigree Editor, and then select Import. In the Import menu, select the format of the pedigree you're importing. The available format options are PhenoTips JSON, Simple JSON, PED or Linkage, GEDCOM, and Bodicea. If you select PED or Linkage as your import pedigree format, you'll be given the option to treat non-standard phenotype values as either new disorders or no information. For PED or Linkage, as well as GEDCOM formats, you can choose to mark all patients with a documented evaluation mark if they have a known disorder in their original pedigree. And for PED or Linkage, GEDCOM, and Bodicea formats, you can choose to exclude or include individual IDs, which will be saved on PhenoTips as external IDs. Once your import settings are ready, you can either select the local pedigree file from your computer or copy and paste the pedigree data into the text box at the bottom of the menu. Click Import to generate the pedigree in the PhenoTips Pedigree Editor. You can adjust your view of the pedigree by using the view controls on the upper left corner of the Pedigree Editor. Use the slider to zoom in or out, and the arrow keys at the top of the view controls to move up, down, left, or right. Select the person icon at the center of the arrows to center your view on the proband. You can also navigate around the pedigree by clicking and dragging on the non-editable background of the pedigree. To add individuals and relationships to your pedigree, you'll need to get familiar with a set of pedigree tools called handles. Handles appear when you hover over individuals or relationships in a pedigree. To use handles, you can either click on them to generate new nodes in the pedigree, or you can drag and drop them to create new relationships between already existing nodes. There are 5 different handles: the parent handle, the sibling handle, the offspring handle, the partner handle, and the relationship handle. Above the node or individual is the parent handle. Clicking this handle automatically generates 2 parents, one of each sex. By clicking and dragging the parent handle, you can assign an existing individual in the pedigree to be your node's parent. While dragging out the handle, you'll notice all potential parents are highlighted. Dropping the parent handle on an individual in the pedigree will automatically generate a partner of the opposite sex. If, by dragging and dropping to form a new parent-offspring relationship, you create consanguinity, this will automatically be indicated in your pedigree. To assign an existing set of partners as your node's parents, drop the parent handle on the red partnership dot between the partners. To the right of the node, branching off of the parent handle, is the sibling handle. To add siblings, click the sibling handle and select from the possible sibling options. Add a male sibling, female sibling, sibling with sex defined as other, sibling with sex defined as unknown, unborn sibling, twin, triplet, or other multiple births, or a group of siblings with the same sex and presentation. If this individual has many siblings of the same sex and presentation, for example, they have 4 healthy brothers, you can either select the multiples icon and then specify the number of siblings, or select the number of siblings and then click Create. You can then assign a sex to the group, twin, or unborn sibling by selecting the node and editing their personal details. Jump to the timecode on screen to learn more about editing each node's personal information. To indicate a sibling relationship with another node already in the pedigree, drag and drop the sibling handle onto that node. You'll notice when you drag and hold the handle, all potential siblings are highlighted. If you create consanguinity when dragging and dropping the sibling handle, your pedigree will automatically indicate it. Below the node is the offspring handle. To add offspring, click the offspring handle and then select from the possible offspring options. Add a male offspring, female offspring, an offspring with sex defined as other, an offspring with sex defined as unknown, a pregnancy, twin, triplets, or other multiple births, or a group of offspring with the same sex and presentation. To create a set of twins, triplets, or other multiple births, you can either select the twin button available once the offspring handle is selected to create twins, or expand the multiple birth options to create triplets, quadruplets, or more. With multiple births created, you can select any twin to open their personal details menu. At the bottom of the menu, you have the option to indicate whether they are a monozygotic twin. Once they are defined as monozygotic, changing one twin's sex will automatically change the sex of their twin. If this individual has many offspring of the same sex and presentation, for example, they have 3 healthy daughters, you can either select the multiples icon and then specify the number of siblings, or select the number of siblings and then click Create. You can then assign a sex to the group, twins, or pregnancy by selecting the node and editing their personal details. Jump to the timecode on screen to learn more about editing each node's personal information. You can also use the Offspring Handle options to indicate whether an individual is childless by choice or infertile. To indicate a parent-offspring relationship with another node in the pedigree, drag and drop the Offspring Handle onto the offspring's node. You'll notice when you drag and hold the Offspring Handle, all potential offspring are highlighted. If, by dragging and dropping the Offspring Handle, you form consanguinity, this will automatically be indicated in your pedigree. To the left of the node is the Partner Handle. To add a partner, click the Partner Handle. This will automatically generate a partner of the opposite sex and an offspring of unknown sex. Male partners are automatically drawn to the left of females, and female partners are automatically drawn to the right of males. Once the partnership is indicated, an offspring of undetermined sex will be added automatically. You are then free to remove the offspring using the small red X that appears in the top right corner when hovering over them. Or change the sex of the offspring by editing the offspring's personal details. Jump to the timecode on screen to learn more about editing an individual's personal information. If you remove a partnership's offspring, the pedigree will automatically indicate that the couple has no children by choice or for an unknown reason. You can then use the relationship handle to change this to a double line indicating infertility through hereditary options. Jump to the timecode on screen to learn more about the relationship handle. You can change the sex of the generated partner by editing their personal details. Jump to the timecode on screen to learn more about editing each node's personal information. To indicate a partnership with a node already in the pedigree, click and drag the partner handle. While extended, all potential partners will be highlighted. Drop the handle on the individual you wish to designate as the partner. If clicking and dragging the partner handle to another node in the pedigree creates consanguinity, this will automatically be indicated in your pedigree. Once a partnership is formed, a new handle will appear between the two nodes of the partnership. To designate this from the partnership handle, we've called this the relationship handle. When you select the red dot between two individuals in a partnership, you'll be given the opportunity to mark the relationship as consanguineous. Relationships that are consanguineous will automatically be indicated in your pedigree, but they can also be manually indicated if required. You can also indicate that the individuals in the partnership have separated by checking the separated box. To remove the partnership, select the red X above and to the right of the relationship handle. You will receive a warning that removing the relationship will also remove all highlighted individuals, which includes partners and any offspring that are the result of the partnership. Selecting the relationship handle directly below the red partnership dot will allow you to add any offspring attributed to the partnership. To learn more about the options available for offspring, skip to the time code on screen. If this partnership has offspring already in the pedigree, click and drag the relationship handle. You'll notice all nodes without parents assigned to them will be highlighted in the pedigree. Drop the handle on the partnership's offspring to designate that relationship. If, by dragging and dropping the relationship handle, you create consanguinity, this will automatically be indicated in your pedigree. If you make an error when building your pedigree, there's no need to delete or restart it. Use the undo and redo buttons in the left corner of the top toolbar to correct any mistakes you make. If you do want to restart or delete your pedigree, skip to the time code on screen. Now that you've added nodes and new relationships, you may wish to change the layout of your pedigree. The pedigree layout is automatically computed, so it isn't possible to customize the position of nodes manually, but you can simplify especially complicated pedigrees. To reorganize complicated pedigrees, use the Automatic Layout button located in the top toolbar. Pressing this button will eliminate as many line overlaps as possible and display the pedigree in the smallest area possible. It will also arrange siblings from left to right in birth order if dates of birth are indicated. Clicking this button may not result in any change in layout if the original layout was already optimized. You can assign generation numbers to all individuals in the pedigree with the Renumber button in the top toolbar. Click More in the top toolbar to display this option. Now that you've built a pedigree, don't forget to save your work. PhenoTips can auto-save your pedigree, but this could take a moment to process after you make a change. After making a change, PhenoTips will alert you if you have unsaved changes with a yellow message in the top toolbar of the Pedigree tool. Beside this alert, you'll see a Save button. Clicking this button will manually save your pedigree. On the far right side of the top toolbar, you'll see a Close button that will let you exit the Pedigree editor. When you select Close, you will be given the option to exit without saving, removing any changes you've made since last saving. Selecting Save and Exit will ensure no changes are lost. And selecting Cancel will keep the Pedigree editor open so you can continue making changes. Now that you have your basic pedigree structure, it's time to add personal details to individuals in the family. To add personal details to an individual in your pedigree, click their node. In the Details menu, you can navigate between the Personal, Clinical, and Cancers tabs, and depending on your unique PhenoTips instance, there may also be a Risks tab. In the Personal tab, you can choose sex, enter names and ethnicities, enter an identifier, indicate a life status, date of birth, and, if applicable, their age at death, date of death, and cause of death. Adding a date of birth will automatically calculate and add their age to the pedigree. This age will update over time. Adding a date of death will automatically calculate and add their age at death. Adding age at death will automatically calculate and add their year of death if their date of birth has also been entered. These automatic calculations only required the year of birth, or, if applicable, the year of death. You can also indicate whether they are childless by choice or an unknown reason, or infertile, using the Hereditary Options drop-down menu, and add an accompanying note. You can also indicate whether that individual was adopted in or out of the family. If you are on the Personal tab of an individual that is not the proband, you can also indicate that they are not in contact with the proband by checking the Not in Contact with Proband box. In the Personal tab, you have the option to link an existing patient record to any node in the pedigree that does not already have a patient record assigned to it using the search bar. Type the name of the patient or their identifier into the search bar and select the patient record you would like to link. When you select them, you'll receive a notice warning you of the changes that will take place. Select Confirm to continue. Once you've confirmed, a link to the patient record will appear in the Personal tab and under the node in the pedigree. If you want to create a new patient record for a member of the pedigree, click the Create New button beside the patient record search bar on a node that is not already linked to a patient record. When you click Create New, you'll receive a notice warning you of the changes that will take place. Select Confirm to continue. If your PhenoTips instance has set up studies, you can select from an available study to configure your new patient record in accordance with the study. Click Create once you've selected your study. A link to the new patient record will now appear in that individual's Personal tab and under their node in the pedigree. You'll notice a new patient record now exists that includes your pedigree. You can unlink the patient record from your pedigree at any time by clicking the Unlink button beside the patient record link in the Personal tab. When you click Unlink, you'll receive a pop-up confirming that you wish to unlink the patient record. You can choose to uncheck the automatically checked option that will clear data from this individual if you wish to keep the information in that individual's personal record. You can then remove link, cancel and keep the patient record link, or delete the patient record. Once you remove the link or delete the patient record, you'll notice you're now able to link a new patient record to the node. And there is no patient record link under the node. Once you've unlinked a patient record, it will appear on the sidebar of the Pedigree editor under Family Members Not in Pedigree. You can then drag and drop the patient record onto any node in the pedigree that is not already linked to a patient record. In the Clinical tab, you can enter clinical details about an individual's genotype, phenotype, and carrier status. Select between different carrier statuses: affected, carrier, pre-symptomatic, or uncertain. Enter your individual's final diagnosis, Enter clinical symptoms, also known as observed phenotypes. Enter candidate genes, confirmed causal genes, and carrier genes. At the bottom of the tab, you can enter free text comments and check the documented evaluation, if applicable, which will leave an asterisk beside the node in the pedigree. You also have the option to make a family member in the pedigree who is not the current proband, the proband, using the Make This Person the Proband button at the bottom of the Clinical tab. To learn more about changing the proband in your pedigree, view our video Changing the Proband. Once you've added your clinical details, they'll appear on the sidebar on the right side of the pedigree editor. Here, you can drag and drop any diagnosis, gene, or phenotype onto any node in the pedigree. You'll notice that each sidebar section, candidate genes, confirmed causal genes, carrier genes, phenotypes, and cancers, has a checkbox to the right of the section title. Deselecting these checkboxes removes their indicative colors from affected nodes in the pedigree. Selecting these checkboxes turns on this colorization feature. Even when colorization is turned off, you will be able to quickly see all affected nodes by hovering over the gene, phenotype, or cancer. This feature is also available if you have chosen to keep color indications on. You can also decide which specific clinical details are represented with color by clicking on the colored circles to the left of the gene, phenotype, or cancer name to remove the colorization of that specific clinical feature from the pedigree. In the Cancers tab, you can select from a list of available cancers, or use the predictive search bar to select different types of cancers not listed. Once you select a cancer, you can then specify the age of diagnosis, laterality, whether it is primary or metastatic, and write any additional free text notes. These options will automatically be visible for any common cancer selected, but for cancers found via search, select the pencil icon below to open the options menu. Once you've added cancer diagnoses to any individual in the pedigree, they'll appear on the sidebar of the pedigree editor. Here, you can drag and drop any cancers onto any node in the pedigree. The Risk tab contains a button that initiates a risk model if available with your PhenoTips instance. To learn more about PhenoTips' Integrated Cancer Risk Assessment tool, watch our tutorial, Integrated Cancer Risk Assessment. If you make an error when creating your pedigree, you can easily undo or redo any changes with the Undo and Redo buttons in the top left corner. To restart your pedigree from within the pedigree editor, select More from the top toolbar and then Templates. Selecting a new template will replace your current pedigree with the template. Each time a pedigree is created, an associated family record is also automatically created. To delete a pedigree, navigate to the family record and hover over the Delete button. Selecting Delete Family and All Members will delete your pedigree, the associated family record, and all patient records linked to your pedigree. Selecting Delete Family and Unlink Members will delete your pedigree and the associated family record, but keep any patient records that were linked in your pedigree. These patient records will no longer be linked as family members or have an associated family record. In the Pedigree Editor, select the Export button in the top toolbar to export your pedigree. The available export formats are PhenoTips JSON, PED, Bodicea, Simple JSON, and Image. Export options are dependent on the export format. For JSONs, you can export all data, remove personal information, or remove personal information and freeform comments. For PED formats, you can select whether individuals in the pedigree will be referred to by their identifiers, numeric labels, or their names. You can also select which clinical details or cancers will be reflected in the affected column in the PED file. For Bodicea formats, you can select whether individuals in the pedigree will be referred to by their identifier or numeric labels. And for image formats, you can export all data, remove personal information, or remove personal information and freeform comments. Images can be exported as either PNG files or as SVG files. You can also export your pedigree from outside of the Pedigree Editor. In the family record that contains your pedigree, hover over More Actions in the top toolbar of the family record. Here, you can quickly export the pedigree and all the contents of the family record as a PDF or XAR file. You can also quickly save your pedigree as either a PNG or SVG image in either the patient or family record by hovering over the Save icon to the top right of the pedigree thumbnail. It's easy to print your pedigree from within the Pedigree Editor. Select the Print button in the top toolbar of the Pedigree Editor to open the Print menu. In the Print menu, you can zoom in and out using the Print Scale buttons to print your pedigree across multiple pages. You can switch the paper orientation between landscape and portrait. Using the Move on Page arrows, you can nudge your pedigree left and right to center it on a single page or across multiple pages. You can always select Default to return your pedigree back to the default position. At the bottom of the Print menu, you can remove identifiable information, remove comments, print your pedigree legend on the bottom left sheet, make pages slightly overlapped, include patient information and print date at the top of the first page, or close the window with the printer-friendly version after printing. When you are satisfied with your print preview, click the Print button at the bottom of the menu. Now that you've built your pedigree, you may want to learn more about family records. Watch our video on family records next by following the link below.